It's now time for Around Town on KWN Community TV Channel 7. The views and opinions on tonight's program are not necessarily those of the staff nor the management of KWN TV 7 and Dade County Broadcasting Incorporated. Now, let's go Around Town on KWN TV 7.
We're on. Are we on?
We're on. We're on.
We're here.
We don't know what we're doing, or I don't, but
we certainly don't know what we're doing, believe me.
That's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah, me too. I'm always prepared and ready for everything. Well, let's see, Robert. We got all kind of stuff going on, I guess, in the county and in the nation. Boy, what about the shooting in Vegas?
You know, Ann, I try to wrap my mind around what could drive a person
to do that.
And to listen to it, you know, some of the video clips that they've had in the gun was obviously a machine gun of some kind and just rattling shells off. I tell you what it reminded me of was the old westerns where they pulled out the Gatling gun and they just start shooting, you know, random. But I cannot imagine, you know, people on their vacation.
Yeah, enjoying life.
All of a sudden it's, you know, their whole life has changed. Those people that survived that, their life changed.
Oh, absolutely. You know. If it didn't, I can't imagine it not changing. You know, you just, well, he was, I think I heard he was 64 years old.
64 years old.
And at that age, you kind of think you got your life all worked out. And
well, usually you do hear it somebody much younger, maybe affiliated with some hatred. Now, there'll be things I'm sure come out.
Oh, yeah.
I know they were talking to a friend, a lady friend of his, I think, however they termed her to be, his companion or whatever. But what they'll find out from her, I don't know. And I think he had some, you know, sibling, his brother or whatever.
Yeah, they said his mother was still alive, like 93 or something. I think I heard that at some point.
I don't know. It's just like sometimes, you know, this I think is already now the worst. You know, everyone gets a little worse, but this, as far as the death toll, and it's probably not over yet. I hadn't heard the latest. It was.
Well, now it was 58.
Well, the last I heard
on the radio.
50, yeah.
As I heard that on the radio on my way over here, it was 58. But I wonder, and I'm just, of course, you know, I have no idea, being here in Trenton, and that's in Las Vegas, and I wouldn't know if it's in Las Vegas, but I just wonder if maybe he did it to go down in a history book or a record or something.
That's what scares me with, and I know it's news. Don't anybody out there get me wrong, that's news. Yeah. But it will play and it will play and it will play, and then his picture will show, and somebody else that's got a problem, whether that's a mental problem or just hate.
Right.
Well, he got noticed.
Exactly.
And I'm afraid that too many of them becomes copycat type thing because he got noticed in what he done. So.
Right, I'm going to do more than he did.
Right.
And I tell you what, and you wasn't on here when I said it, but I don't know, it's been 2 or 3 weeks ago, or I don't know when I said it, but I think we were better off when we had 30 minutes of news of the afternoon.
Oh, we were. We know too much now, and you don't know what to believe.
Everything, and half of it you can't believe.
No, it's slanted one way or the other. And if you look on Facebook, and I do Facebook, but some of the things on there, you know, well, this is going to, this will put Hillary in jail.
And this is just a blatant lie.
It's over. Yeah, it has nothing to do with what they're just trying. And I watched one yesterday. You may have seen somebody put a YouTube on Facebook, and it was a Hispanic girl at some college or whatever, and she had grabbed this guy's Trump hat, "Make America Great." She'd gone into the administration office. And I believe, see, that stuff is faked.
Oh, it is fake.
It's like me and you, okay, and when we go on, we're going to get into this big argument. And you're going to argue for this, and you're just going, what it is to get people to, because people don't believe that, they think, okay, I hate this lady. I hate this man. She's right. He's right.
And just
keeps the hate going
on and on and on. And you wonder why the country's in the shape it's in.
Well, my daddy had a saying, and I won't. Well, you'll know, and the folks out there listening will know. He said, "The more you stir in, the worse it stinks."
Exactly. And how true is that?
And that's all it is. It has nothing to do with news or anything else. It's just to get you to identify with one of those sides. It's just like the thing about in don't anybody read me wrong on this. It's like this bowing and all that for the national anthem.
Yeah.
Yes, I disagree with that. I think people should stand with their heart. But I told somebody at the ball game the other night, you just watch. When we play it at a high school ball game, there'll be people still milling around. There'll be people standing there talking about the day.
Right.
They don't even know the national anthem being played. But we don't say anything about those people. And some of those people, though, are the very ones that will get on social media and blast these other people.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
And I believe we should honor the flag, and I think it should be. But if you don't, you know, you can't make anybody
exactly.
do it.
Oh yeah, I strongly believe we should, and I mean, I'm taught my kids that they should. You know.
Well.
And Robert. And I know, I hadn't paid him. Well, I hadn't been to a high school football game in years until Reese started playing, but I still think we should pray. I think we should pray.
Well, you know, we were at, I think it was North Sand Mountain, the first game of the year.
And they did.
Well, and here's my understanding. I could be wrong, and if anybody's out there with the school board or superintendent's office or the school, call and correct me. As long as, and you can tell that was a young lady praying.
Right, yeah.
As long as it is student-led. But we've got this idea that nobody can do it. But if you watch almost every team, you watch the officials on Friday night, and the last thing they will do for most part, those 6 guys, sometimes 7 if the timekeeper has not gone up to the press box. Those, even the most time the officials of a ball game will get together, huddle, and say a prayer after the game, and before the game. Sometimes the kids can. It just cannot be led by an adult pushing your religion off, but we've took it that you can't. But I think as long as a student leads it, and there are students that will, she did at that game.
Absolutely, at North Sand Mountain, yeah, because I remember that. Yeah, we have let, and I've said this on here before too, we have let people in this country, not Robert and I, but people in this country, we have sat back and let people push us back until they took our rights away.
Oh yeah.
If you and I went to Chattanooga, and we decided we wanted to stop right in the middle of Hamilton Place Mile at 12 o'clock, bow our heads and say a prayer, why, they'd probably arrest us.
Somebody would have a problem with it.
But now you let another religion or another whatever you want to say, if they decide they want to do that and you say anything, you're offending them. I don't know where it happened that everything a Christian wants to do is offensive, and what everybody else wants to do is their right.
Well, it's been coming to that. And when you think about it, if you go back and read the Bible, it's been coming to that for
a long time.
You know, a couple of thousand years anyway, if not more.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know, again, the media, we know so much because I've got a phone laying right here, and on that phone I've got anything I can get on a computer anywhere I'm at.
Yep.
And so I know everything that's going on. And you were right. Back when we had news at 6 o'clock, the local news, 6:30 to 7, you had the national news, and you heard pretty much the truth.
Yeah.
And then you turn it off, and families watch TV together.
Exactly.
And it's just not that day. Yeah.
Yeah, and people just sit glued to that TV for every minute and every word. I don't do that. I can't listen to that over and over. And like you said, it'll be the same thing over and over.
24 hours a day.
And those news commentators will ask those people there some of these stupidest questions. Well, how many did you see, Fowler? Did you, you know?
Yeah.
That's
not
more
what
than
you're even thinking at the time. You've gone into, you know, just trying to continue to exist and not. But it is. It's not. Well, what they say on the Wizard of Oz, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Yes, exactly right. And me and my daughter had this morning. She commented. She's like, "Well, I don't think I'm gonna let Bradley go to the movies anymore." I said, "Rachel, you cannot do that to that child." And she said, well, they're just in a, you know, when you're in a movie theater, you're in a closed-in spot. She said, well, you've got nowhere to run. You've got nowhere to hide. I said, you cannot live your life in fear, because if you live your life in fear, then they win and you lose.
Well, I had some folks, well-meaning, don't get me wrong, when this last time I went to Romania, I went by myself.
Right.
which I've done on more than one occasion. But they said, well, you're crazy to get on a plane nowadays. I said, look, I'm not making light of this world and the troubles we're in, but I said, when I get so afraid I won't come out of my house, terrorism wins.
Exactly.
Because that's what they want.
That's exactly what they want to do.
If you're huddled up in a corner,
yeah, scared to death.
They have won. They don't have to do anything.
They don't have to raise a hand. So, well, when my daughter was saying all that, she said, well, which I didn't know this until this morning when she told me. My granddaughter goes to school in Chattanooga. They've had to, and they may do it here, I don't know, but she had to take, they have taught them how to run and hide and where to run and hide to if an intruder comes in the school. They know where they need to run, where they need to hide if somebody comes in the school. Of course, her school is kind of, you just don't walk in the door. And same thing I know over at the high school. You just don't open the door going in. And the elementary school, I know they've got. They built a new entrance,
yes.
But it's sad that 8-year-old kids have to be prepared to run and hide. But I got to thinking about it after I hung up with her. When I was going to school, they was teaching you how to hide when they dropped the bomb.
Oh, yeah. Like it was going to matter.
Yeah.
That's like the airplane, every time you... Now, should this plane unfortunately go down over water, the seat cushion can be used as a flotation device.
Yeah.
From 30-something thousand feet up.
If you hit water, you don't need that flotation device. You're just hanging on.
Well, but that being said, what you did about the 8-year-old kids having to do that, I have often thought as an adult, now you look at the news that we watched for years, little Israeli kids and Palestinian kids have lived with that all their life.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going to happen from day to day to day, and still don't. But you notice you hadn't seen that much in the news now in months, because it's all this other, it's so many other things.
Hey, we have got so much going on. It's scary. It really is scary.
It's a mad world.
It is a mad world, and we sit back. I had a friend tell me one time, he said, as long as the American people have got money to make a living, pay your bills, have a little extra, get to go on vacation, we let everything just go. Oh, well, that don't bother us. We're living, we're living a good life.
And generation to generation, it gets, the more you take on this is okay.
Yep.
Then the more becomes okay.
Robert, we never stood up, and there's things which I am not even going to mention on this TV show, but there is things that we should have stood up and said, that's not right.
Yeah.
You don't need, we as American people, that's not right. But we didn't. Well, okay. And we've lost a lot.
Well, I think we're being told to take a little break here.
And
either that or he's going to come break your neck. Something's going to get broke.
Something's breaking, and it ain't going to be me. Yeah, and when we come back, the monkey's on Robert's back. He's got a lot of explaining to do about a couple of things.
Well, I'm going to try to explain. It's about the election for not only the people of Trenton, but also a referendum for the people of Dade County and in the city and the county. So turn off the washing machine and listen.
And now both elections are going to be held at the county voting polls or whatever. So yeah,
be there when we come back. We're going to try to explain some of this stuff.
Dobbins Supermarket, serving the community for over 70 years with fresh cut meats and a full line of grocery items. Dobbins Supermarket, Highway 71 in Higdon.
This week at Dobbins Supermarket, fresh fire legs 79 cents a pound, beef sirloin tip roast $3.29 a pound, a 10-pound box of breaded chicken fingers only $16.99, and hickory hollow bacon 10-pound box only $19.99. These and other specials when you shop every week in Higdon, Alabama at Dobbins Supermarket.
The Dade County school system continues to put the safety of students first. That's why the Love the Bus Elementary campaign rolls on. Love the Bus is designed to teach students the importance of safety, respect, and proper bus etiquette. As we continue to enhance efforts of safety for our students, we'd like to have you as part of our team. If you're considering a career as a bus driver, there's a special training session coming up in October. To attend, call the Dade County Schools Transportation Department at 706-657-7053 today. Part-time hours with full-time benefits as a bus driver for the Dade County School System. The Appliance and Outdoor Equipment Showroom at the Upper Sand Mountain Gas District wants to be your destination for appliances and outdoor cooking products with one of the Southeast's largest showrooms for indoor and outdoor kitchen equipment and supplies. See us today for the biggest and best. Check out the ultimate cooking experience with a Big Green Egg, Smokin' Brothers, dedicated to providing quality barbecue products, and Traeger wood-fired grill products. With over 150 different kinds of rubs, spices, and barbecue sauces, we can make your grilling and cooking experience the best it can be. We also carry a huge supply of wood pellets. The Appliance and Outdoor Equipment Showroom at the Upper Sand Mountain Gas District offers 90-day savings cash. Financing is available, and we service what we sell. Come see us today at 21620 Highway 117 in Eider. Take I-59 south to the Hammondville exit, turn right, and head up Sand Mountain. Or call 256-632-9386 for the Appliance and Outdoor Equipment Showroom at the Upper Sand Mountain Gas District. And don't miss our Big Fall Open House Saturday, October 7th from 10 till 2 Central Time with free food, music, kids activities, tons of free giveaways, on-site vendors, cooking demonstrations, and more at the Appliance and Outdoor Equipment Showroom at the Upper Sand Mountain Gas District in Eider.
Folks around these parts have put their trust in the Ponder name for filling their prescriptions for decades. Jennifer Ponder Hicks, Doctor of Pharmacy, continues the tradition of fast, friendly, and personal service at Ponder's Mountain Pharmacy. Ponder's Mountain Pharmacy is convenient to our customers between Dobbins and North Sand Mountain School, next to Northeast Alabama Health Services. Ponder's Mountain Pharmacy gladly accepts most insurance plans, including Alabama Medicaid. When the need arises, have your doctor phone Ponder's Mountain Pharmacy at 597-4020. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Ponder's Mountain Pharmacy.
Feeling. All right.
Well, there's no need of us being here. While we were away, we settled all the world's problems.
Yeah, we're soft, so check with us a little later on.
Tune in next week. I'm sure there'll be a whole new set of problems.
Yeah. All right, Robert.
Well, what we're going
I
better look. Well, I get these out, and I just do this with them so I look smart.
Oh, okay.
Like I know what's going on. Really, Ann, and you and I know, and there's a little bit of confusion about what's going on right now because this is city election time. So I want folks to understand when we say city, it's the election of city officials for Trenton. Now there's only 2 seats up. I'm not even sure which one of them, but one of them, if you look around town, is the police commissioner, which is now the incumbent Sandra Gray. There's 2 other people running against Sandra for that. So that is, to my knowledge, is the only election far as
Terry Powell is up.
But is he with any? I think it's the only one I've seen with any opposition.
Yeah, Kenny Jeffrey is running against Terry Powell.
Okay, well I didn't.
Now, he hasn't come out and announced, but I think I don't know.
Well, he would have had to have qualified, but
okay, he's qualified.
He has qualified.
Okay. But we got that.
We got that straight from the media mogul.
That's right. That's right. So we got that right.
But I just haven't seen any signs. So you have 2 contested races, and that is for the city. There's none in the county. And the reason I say that is as we go a little further, people might say, well, what about county? Because it is next year before we will have any races in the county. And that will be 2 school board members and 2 commissioners, and then of course we'll have Congress or representatives and Senate and all that as far as state. But anyway, here is what has happened this year. The city of Trenton, as Ann said, will not be holding their election at City Hall, which they always do. What they do is they take the Dade County Elections Commission, and they will hold their election, and then they reimburse the cost of that election back to the county, but because we're 2 different entities. But one reason they moved there is a referendum going on at the same time for a T-Splosh. Now that is transportation splosh, because what happens is we now have, of course, we have our sales tax, state sales tax, which is 4 cents, and then we have 3 pennies of local sales tax, the E-Splosh, the regular splosh for the county, and then the lost penny, LOST, which is a lot of sploshes and lost, and that all stands for something. But a few years ago, the state legislatures let regions during an election hold an election for a T-Splosh, which is transportation splosh again. That money could only go toward transportation. Now that covers a broad area. That's roads, bridges, striping, lighting, anything having to do with the transportation and the roads in a county. Well, it had to pass by everyone in that commission. We're in the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission. That is 15 counties that make it up. Okay, it had to pass in all those counties for it to become something we would do. Dade County, believe it or not, is the only county that passed it in our region. Now, there were some reasons for that. It was because your larger counties, like say a Whitfield, with a lot of motels and box stores and bringing in a lot of money, they would have had to share a little of that wealth with some other of the counties because they would have been a formula. So it got voted down, except in 3 regions across the state. They're kind of across the lower middle of the state from one side to the other. And believe it or not, you can talk to any of those commissioners and they will tell you we got more money than we can spend in those regions for the roads and bridges and whatever. So there was going to be no plan B, according to Nathan Deal, the governor. There's not a plan B. It's a one-time. But anyway, they have come back and they have allowed counties to do their single, just one county, Dade County, Walker, any county. Or you could do it as a region, but it would, you know, that's not going to happen. Again, you're not. That's not going to happen. So Dade County, we decided. And personally, I can't go out really, and I'm not supposed to go out and campaign for it or against it. I could put up signs, vote yes, vote no if I wanted to. But we then passed a referendum, or passed an ordinance to put a referendum out during the city's election time, because it's the first election to be held. And you can always bring one of these back, but if you wait so long, you don't have time to get it back on another election. Now, I hope everybody's understand. I know it's a lot of why we're doing SPLOST. Okay, the city could have opted not to even be part of that. They have to agree we want to do it too. Now, they get 1/4 of that penny.
Right.
Otherwise, we could have only done it for 75% of that penny, 3/4 of a penny. But as it will, we're asking people to go and vote in the city election. And while that's going on, there's going to be some machines there for the county folks to go in this early voting, and I'll tell those dates in a minute, and vote just for the SPLOST in the county. That's all that's going on out in the county, is just that T-SPLOST vote. Okay, so if it passes, then our taxes, yes, will go up 1 more penny. They're now 7 cents. They will go up to 8 cents. That 1 penny will be shared with the city of Trenton at the tune of 1/4 of it, and we will get 3/4 of it. If you want to know what that penny will generate for the two together, you can do the math on the 1/4 of this. The month that we just finished, September, I looked at our SPLOST numbers today, and I'm going to say there were 163,000. Okay, that's $163,000 that 1 penny brought into Dade County. Now, it also brought that same $163,000 to the school board because they have an E-SPLOST. And I'm saying this just to tell you how that penny adds up. So, if we pass it 1 more time, it would bring in whatever amount that penny brings in, and it would be divided then between the county and the city for the roads, bridges, guardrails, reflectors, you know, whatever goes on. Now, that allows a county then to free up money that we now have in our general fund that's going to the road department to have money to use somewhere else. Somebody asked me yesterday at church, so what do you do with the money you saved? If we do that and we say we save money like we did on the kitchen and the jail, buying our own paper, I said, well, one thing, it means to keep up with inflation, you don't have to go up on your millage rate, because you've got money coming in for that. So, if there's any question about that, my number is 423-503-0618, because this is kind of confusing, because why is the city having an election in the county commission room? That's why. We're having a special election for the county alongside it to vote only for T-SPLOST as far as county people. Now, there's a big issue on the city this time that was on the county last time. What do you think it is, Ann?
Oh, I know what it is. It's alcohol.
Liquor by the drink. Now, I heard this as I went by to get some numbers at the election commission. Somebody said I saw on Facebook. Well, you can always figure when you saw on Facebook. I'll stop right there with saying on Facebook. That the county, somebody put on there, now again, I haven't read it. I'm just repeating what I heard. The county didn't like the results of the last referendum, so they're sneaking it in again to vote liquor by the drink. Folks, let me tell you, I'm going to look you straight in the eye through your television and tell you that is not the case. The city has to vote their own. When the county voted liquor by the drink and it passed, didn't mean that any restaurant inside the city limits of Trenton, and you name it, whether that's the Pizza Hut or Thatcher's Barbecue or the one across the street here, nobody in the city could do liquor by the drink.
Right.
They have to pass their own referendum. Now, I did not bring a copy of it. LaWanna had one. She put it in my box, but I didn't pick it up. I'm guessing that they have pretty closely mirrored what we did in the county. Now, again, that may have a... Now, that being said, when you start talking about liquor, distilled spirits, it's different than wine and beer. There are some things on state books that will not let you do certain things in certain places, whether you pass that referendum or not, such as so far from a school, so far from a drug treatment facility, so far from a church. Those things are in state law already. So if you're looking at you're a business in the city of Trenton, or you think, well, I'll open a restaurant, first of all, see what the city's referendum says, how many seats you're going to have, and how far away from these kind of things do you have to be before you say, oh, I'm sure it's coming. Because if it does not pass in the city, the fact that it did pass in the county does not mean anybody in the city can put in any distilled spirits in their place of business, okay? So that is the big issue that people need to get out. You need to get out and vote. You need to get out and vote in the county during early voting if you are for or against the T-Splosh. Why? Because the city is notorious for not turning out too many electors.
Right. Exactly.
Very
and
few.
It'll totally depend, well, not totally, but one thing that'll affect that a lot will be the weather, Robert. If it's wet and cold and rainy, a lot of people won't come out and vote. They just don't.
They don't. And so, we've had city elections, and I live in the city. You live in the city.
No,
you
I'm not in the city.
You're far enough out. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It stops about just below Larry's Restaurant.
Yeah.
Larry's Restaurant. So what can happen, let's say in the city elections, people just don't get out, but we do have 200, we'll say, come in and vote for those two positions.
And they make
say,
the decision.
while I'm here, I'm going to vote for Splosh. They're going to make the decision for the entire county.
Yep.
Now, here's the deal too. On election day, when we talk about early voting and all this other, there is still an old-fashioned election day. Okay, then there's going to be precincts open throughout the county, just like it was a presidential election. People are going to be able to go vote on election day,
right?
Because you can't just have the early voting and that's it. So it's going to be an issue up until November the 7th. Okay, so here it is in a nutshell. First of all, the city election will not be held at City Hall. It is moved to the Commission building, where you go and vote for national issues, whether you live in the city or not. You go and vote for the president, or you go and vote for people, well, myself as a commissioner. That's where you go vote, in the commission room. Early voting begins October the 16th, which this is what, the
2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from today, actually.
Or today or tomorrow. Anyway, on October 16th, and it will go through November the 3rd. And that will be regular hours of the Election Commission, 8 till 5, okay, for early voting. There will be one Saturday. They did not have to do that. Now we're being told to take a break, so you stay right there where you're at, because I'm going to come back and finish this up. And if I hadn't made it as clear as mud already, I'll stir in that footprint a little bit before we get back. So hang on right there where you're at.
At Gross Furniture in Trenton, Georgia, you get the savings, the selection, and the satisfaction of getting the furniture you deserve at the prices you want. Come in, relax, and take your time. Our staff can assist you with the entire process, from expert advice to professional delivery. That's because Gross Furniture is local and treats you with honesty. Just north of the Courthouse Square on Highway 11 in Trenton. Gross Furniture, the home furnishing store that offers you more.
Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. At 402 North Cedar Avenue in South Pittsburgh, 4765 Main Street in Jasper, and at 14087 Highway 28 in Whitwell. Providing the highest standard of customer services with a personal touch. Our associates can help you with personal loans, personal lines of credit, a variety of mortgage loans, and more. And we offer real-time internet banking too. See us in South Pittsburgh, Jasper, and Whitwell today. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank Marion Countyans will ever need. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Reed Funeral Home of Whitwell, a tradition of caring is carried out through a personal commitment to each family. Our experienced staff and funeral directors and embalmers stand ready to help you through your toughest times. We offer every type of funeral service, from traditional to cremation or any combination of life celebration. Depend on the Reed family and Reed Funeral Home of Whitwell, 11675 Highway 28 in Whitwell, 658-5516. Reed Funeral Home.
Glass Farm Nursery, Highway 11 south of Trenton, now open for a limited time with what you need for the fall season. Now in their 46th year. Shop and compare. Hundreds of mums to choose from. 8-inch mums just $4.99. Large mums $17.99 right now. Get to Glass Farm Nursery for the absolute best selection. Glass Farm Nursery, open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and Saturday 8 to 2. Glass Farm Nursery, 4.5 miles south of Trenton on Highway 11.
College is more than an education. It's a bridge to your future. Plan your future. Envision your future. Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Yeah. Okie doke, we're back, and I'm going to go over the whole thing again because I don't know where I ended. No, again, the early voting begins October the 16th and goes through November the 3rd for the early voting. There will be a Saturday, it's where I got to. They didn't have to do this. The Election Commission chose to put a Saturday on it because every once in a while people will say, well, I don't have a chance to go vote during those hours. So that will only be from 8 in the morning until 12 noon on October the 28th. People will have an opportunity to go vote on Saturday. Then the election day for the city and for the T-Splosh for county folks at all the precincts will be on November the 7th. Okay? Now, the referendum is for any side. Again, the T-Splosh referendum is for anybody outside the city of Trenton to be able to vote on it while the Trenton election is going on, and having that way it's a special election, but it didn't. We joined the two together, so you're only paying for the same election that the city of Trenton was going to have anyway, except election day when the precincts are open outside. So I hope that doesn't confuse anybody. And again, if you got questions, you can call the Election Commission, or you can call me again at 423-503-0618, and we'll talk about it. But remember this, the alcohol by the drink that's going on has nothing to do, I don't care what Facebook said, nothing to do with what was passed already in the county. Nothing whatsoever. It won't alter it, it won't change it. The difference is if somebody wants to do what the law allowed them to do that we passed, then they can go out in the county and do that, but they still cannot in the city based on the county's referendum.
Right.
So, and that's where your exits are.
The funny thing about that is, Robert, why would the county want to vote on it again since they've already...
That's why, and again, that was somebody that just didn't do a little bit of studying, and look, when they saw it in the paper, which there had to be that call for an election, and there had to be that referendum run, and it said for the city of Trenton. It did not say Dade County. But I can see a little confusion on things, but out in the county, and you will go to the poll if you want to, and you will vote as a county citizen, not a day. I'll go vote as a city citizen, then turn right around and vote as a county citizen, because I can vote. I live in the city, okay. But the only thing Ann Brown is going to be able to vote on is the T-Splosh referendum because you do not live in the city of Trenton. So it shouldn't be confusing, but what has confused people is we've never voted up there before. We've always voted at City Hall.
Yeah.
But we've never had, in my time at least, a special election. And so this is, yes, a special county thing that we chose to do in with the city to have one election and get it done.
As opposed
and
to
pay for one election that we were going to anyway, except for, again, when we opened the polls on that election day. The election office hours are 8 till 5 every day except Friday, and they close at 2 o'clock. So during those times, that's when you will be able to vote, Monday through Friday, beginning the 16th of October, except for 2 o'clock on Friday. They will close and there'll be no one there. So I hope that everybody gets that. And I'll just throw out, yes, I am for the T-Splosh. I was for it when we did it as a region. I'm for it when we do it now. Because here's the thing. We've got, well, even with the lineman school here, and with people coming through to go to ball games now, you know what happens the third Saturday in October, Tennessee and Alabama is going to play. I mean, that's the day the world shuts down.
And either they're going from Tennessee and they're going through here,
Knoxville to Tuscaloosa,
or they're going from Tuscaloosa to Knoxville, and they're going through here.
It is one of our heaviest travel days on I-59 because it runs right through there. But those people get to Trenton and say, oh, I've got to stop and get gas. Bang, bang, bang. They give us some pennies toward our roads. When you go in, get me a Coke and a bag of chips or a donut, or let's say it's at the pilot station, get me a Subway.
Or they go through McDonald's.
They're right. They pull off, they go through McDonald's. They've had a tire blowout and they pull into a service station or whatever, and they get it working. They're going to give us some money, and they may never be on Dade County soil again as long as they live.
Exactly.
But while they're here, we're going to get a little money as they make a purchase. They're going to help us fix our roads. You know, have you ever been into a little convenience store and they say, they tell you can't use their restroom, well, like a service station, can't use the restroom unless you buy something. And you know, we think that's a terrible thing, but you look at it. You're not buying anything.
Right.
You're using our water. I'm running my water bill up. You're flipping on my lights, but you're not even buying so much as a pack of chewing gum.
Right.
Well, I'm kind of old-fashioned enough that usually I won't do that. I'll go in and buy something, whether I want it or not, and I won't buy $10 worth, but I may get me a Coke or something if I'm going to use their facilities. This is just letting those people help us pay for this, and it generates that 160, 150, 175, and Splosh, and we've gone over this in our county meetings. Many times Splosh was $230, as high as $300 a month. And that was for that 1 penny to us, $300,000, $300 to the school system. $600,000 a month. And now it's dwindled down. We don't know why it's doing it, but it's down to
I'm
163.
Sure I wouldn't be surprised if it don't come back up some now, Robert, on account of the gas. Gas is cheaper here.
I expected it would this time, but it still went down 3,000.
It's cheaper here than it is in Tennessee.
Yes, it is.
Now, I don't know what it is in Alabama. I haven't been down that way recently, but I do know it's cheaper than in Tennessee.
Well, even at the ends of our counties now, it's a little cheaper in the north end than it is the south end with the same the pilot service station. So there's not really rhyme, but we cannot use that Tennessee, I'll go into Tennessee, because, it's either the same or we're actually a penny or two cheaper most of the time.
Dade County right now is much cheaper than it is in Tennessee, because I look, believe you me, I have to go up there to my daughter's quite a bit, and I keep an eye on the gas thing.
Well, when we went through this House Bill 170 a few years ago, that's when we found out that just a tad more than 40% of our local revenues came from the sale of fuel and gasoline and that kind of thing because of these
the other
truck
two
stops.
Being higher.
And I was surprised. I had told people this, where you like I said, Daddy, we need to be thankful for these truck stops because that's the closest thing to a Walmart. We're probably, because people say, why can't we get a Walmart? Some people don't want one, but the thing about it is, as long as people are stopping at those service stations and you're looking at trucks that are putting 150, 200, 300 gallons of fuel in a truck, diesel, they're paying for it like anybody else. That's a lot, and it generates a lot of money. So that is the reason, and I hope, again, you folks out there, that I didn't muddy the waters anymore. There's just a little confusion because it's, well, is the county voting for anybody? No, we're not voting for a single person on a ballot. Only a T-Splosh referendum. City's voting for 2 people 2 council or commission jobs, and that is that would be what, Parks and Recreation and Police Commissioner. So that's the 2 as far as voting for anyone. Then they have that big liquor by the drink on the referendum for the city of Trenton only. That will not be on the county's ballot. We've already passed one. So if there's any confusion about that, just go to Facebook and find those people that are saying we didn't like it the first time, we're going to redo it. We don't know. We wouldn't even have to from now on. We can do ordinances to, you know, work with what we already have, but what we already have is there. The people voted for it, and they will either vote it in or not vote it in come, well, we'll know on November the 8th, or late in the evening on the 7th, we'll know whether or not the city of Trenton will then allow liquor by the drink to be sold.
And you need to come out and vote, because if you're going to voice an opinion, and like Robert said, if you want to get on Facebook, tell everybody how it should be done, then come vote yourself.
Make a difference.
Yeah, put your vote in there.
You know, we have the touch screen voting systems, and I've always said everybody in that little thing right there has got the power.
That's exactly
to change
right.
who's in office, to change the laws that may be, because all you got to do is touch that screen and hit a name.
Yeah, right.
Or touch that screen and hit a no.
Right.
And the power's in your finger, not just in mine. It's in everybody that's registered to vote. Get out and vote. Treat this election just like it was for the presidential, governor election or whatever, that it's the biggest thing that ever happened in Trenton, because it is going to be a big deal.
It's important to you. It's very important to you. If you feel like you don't want to vote for the SPLOST, you need to go vote.
And work against it.
Exactly.
Try to get your friends. Tell them, go vote no.
If you want it and you feel like, you know, we need the extra money here for the roads and what have you, go vote for it. And like Robert said, get you some people to go out and vote with you.
That's the privilege we have, is to get out and get people. I mean, if you can call them to hey, get in here, I'm going to take you to vote. I want you to vote no on that SPLOST, or I want you to vote for this person, or whatever. That's the privilege, Robert, that flag that we wave that I'm so proud of, that's another privilege that we have.
Exactly right. And I'm so stubborn and hard-headed, there's no way somebody would tell me, oh, go vote no, or go vote yes, go vote. Hey.
You got a mind of your own, you mean?
It's my vote. Well, you can bank on that.
You know, by the way, that reminded me, what country was it last week? And it doesn't happen until next year, but the women finally get to drive.
Oh, that's
Syria or Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the head, I don't know, whatever you call him over there, I think whoever it was instrumental. They wanted it on there. Well, can you, okay, all you women out there, can you imagine just now getting to drive?
Yeah, especially those out in California and those up in New York that want to live somewhere else, because we're so unfair. Just think about it.
Hey,
you wouldn't even have been driving a vehicle if you lived there.
There's a lot of things in this country today I'm not happy with, but I can promise you I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be than right here.
No.
Now, I'd like to travel a little bit more and see other things, but there is no way I'm going over to Saudi Arabia and walking 4 or 5 steps behind Bobby and covering up my face. And, oh, how could you live like that?
It's just, we just don't know. And there may be other countries where they still can't drive. I don't know.
I'm sure there is. But I'm going to tell you something else, too, Robert. People talk about here, oh, I'll leave here, and all that. You go to some of the, I have right now especially a problem with our justice system, because it's kind of like the criminal has more rights than the person. Well, you go over there and you accidentally pick you up an apple and walk off with it, they chop your hand off.
Oh yeah, we're the most blessed people on the face of the earth with our problems.
We have our problems, but I take our problems and live with them way before I'd want to go over and have the problems other people's got.
Just thinking in 2017, those people, women in that country, will finally get
to drive a car.
And it's still my understanding that in Russia, you order a car, it's built, you don't get it for 10 years.
Oh, that don't surprise me.
So, you know, we're so spoiled.
We are spoiled.
I'm just a spoiled little brat sometimes with all the blessings that I have, that we have, and then we've got somebody's got the gall to stand up, like the lady they put on Facebook. I hate the United States. I love the United States.
I do too, and I can't imagine any country that I love any more than this. And you had, I know, brothers in the military. I had my dad, my brother, and all that. They fought, and I'm not just saying ours, but hundreds of thousands of men and women to give us those rights. And I totally respect them, this country. And Cody's gonna choke me if I don't. Take a break.
We're being told to take a break. So
I think we'll be back next week, or somebody will be back next week. Cody's going to show the.
We're going to do the homecoming parade from this past Thursday.
And if they missed it, they missed a treat. Let me tell you.
We're going to run straight through the band.
Bye.